It was billed as the Hell is Real Derby, and tonight some of those fans going back to Columbus probably feel that way. Hi again, everyone. Tom Reed here with Andrew Erickson. We are at Nippert Stadium for the 4th round game of the Open Cup between the Columbus Crew and the FC Cincinnati. Bit of a stunning result. FC Cincinnati comes through with a 1-0 win on a 64th minute goal on a night that the Crew played a pretty strong lineup, Andrew.
Yeah, you know, and they started, I think you could say, 7 regulars, 9 players who, if this was a regular MLS game, probably would have played. So, you know, Greg Berhalter pushed his chips to the middle of the table. He wanted to win this game. He made that clear after the game. You know, wanted to get guys reps after a long week off, a bye week. And, you know, the Crew did what it normally does. It maintained possession. It outshot its opponent. But, again, it's a result that they're kind of scratching their head after this one.
Yeah, you know, this is the first meeting between these two sides. Cincinnati kind of just really came online last season in this iteration as the FC Cincinnati. And boy, what a win for this. There were 30,000 people here.
And the place was rocking the whole night.
And, you know, who knows if they're going to get in the MLS. Probably a long shot, at least for right now.
Yeah.
But a little bit of I don't want to call it a rivalry, but, you know, something sparked between these two cities tonight. Like we said, 1,000 people here from the Crew. Obviously, more than 29,000 here from FC Cincinnati. Put on a great show. I think Crew fans are going to be very disappointed with this result. As you said, the lineup. And Andrew, another thing that we've seen in the past, too, is when teams kind of park the bus in front of their goal, despite all that possession, they really didn't generate a ton of quality chances until stoppage time, where they had 2 great ones and couldn't finish.
Yeah, and, you know, the most obvious thing in soccer is you need to score first. But for this team in particular, with the way they build out of the back and the way they kind of need to structure their attack, they need space. They need space in the box. They need to be able to create movement. And when there are 6, 7 guys in the box that they have to deal with, it becomes an incredibly difficult thing. So you look at the total numbers for the Crew, you know, 19 total shots, 5 on target compared to 5 and 3 respectively for FC Cincinnati. And, you know, it's different on paper than it was in reality.
One of the guys that didn't start tonight was Ola Kamara. They started Adam John. They got back up forward. He had some quality looks tonight. I mean, he probably had the most looks. He blew one a little wide early in the game, and then right at the end could not get his foot on a cross that, for all intents, looked like it was going to be the tying goal.
Yeah, and I think was that with Nico Hansen that sent that one in?
I think it might have been. And then they had one other great chance in the dying minutes.
It was a volley from Federico Higuain.
That
just could have been another chance. But yeah, they were right there at the end. But yeah, you look at a couple easy ones, a couple, you know, ones that'll raise the expected goals level that they couldn't quite convert.
Now, how do fans take this? This is obviously one of those things. It's not a regular season game. It's the Open Cup. It's the U.S. Open Cup, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. How are fans going to view this back home? I mean, on a night where they played a lot of regulars.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you know, I think before the game you had a lot of fans that were very pleased with Greg Berhalter for rolling out his starters, for being aggressive, because he hadn't been in previous U.S. Open Cup games. They had rolled out a lot of reserves, you know, sub guys in at halftime and really kind of got their reserves a lot of work. But in the end, it looks like a loss that, you know, looks pretty similar to a lot of the ones for the Crew. They let up an early goal and, you know, can't quite get the equalizer.
Now, kind of on a little more newsy subject, right at the end of the game, our dispatch photographer Adam Carnes was right down there in the field as the players were coming off. You know, a few fans, you know, it's a very small group, but apparently had some angry things to say to Coach Greg Berhalter. Justin Merrim kind of came back, I think, talking with Adam to kind of defend the coach.
Right.
It's just not a good scene, not a good way for this team to leave Cincinnati tonight.
No, and there were a couple fans, you know, in speaking with Adam, that were ejected, were escorted out by police, and there were also was also a large group of fans that were, you know, telling those fans to stop and trying to defuse the situation. Right. So good on those folks for, you know, being able to step in.
Yeah. Okay. So they get back into league play Saturday.
Yeah, at Atlanta.
At Atlanta. Now, again, when you talk about pushing your chips all in a game like this, it's going to be a quick turnaround for this group. What kind of lineup do you think we're going to see in Atlanta on Saturday night?
Well, it's interesting because Greg Berhalter said after the game to expect 5 or 6 changes for the Saturday game. So that's kind of up in the air. I would expect a guy like Ola Kamara. I would expect Jonathan Mensah back and Harrison Awful back. They were on international duty. They played Sunday against Ethiopia in Ghana in AFCON qualifier. So they should be back. It should be a little bit different, but this is a team that certainly is looking for a rebound performance.
All right. On a night where they had 19 shots, 5 on target, could not score, lose 1-0 to FC Cincinnati. We'll be talking to you soon. Make sure to check all of Andrew's stories out on dispatch.com. For Andrew Erickson, Tom Reed, good night from Nippert Stadium.